James Ernest of the Gruel and Truth Radio Network here with comedian Costaki Economopoulos, the biggest name in comedy. So what got you into comedy?
I just always loved it. It's just such a beautiful, simple form. I was fascinated by stand-up when I was in high school. This dates me a little, but I had like these 3 giant crates of audio tapes, and so many of them were stand-up albums. George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Robert Klein, and Sam Kinison, and Bobcat Goldthwait. I was just a huge stand-up fan. And it's so simple and pure. There's no producers and actors, and no one's blocking it. It's not a director. It's just a dude and a microphone, and that's it. I just like that.
Who are your favorite comedians to work with?
I've been lucky, man. I've worked with most of my heroes. Jake Johansson and Brian Regan and David Tell and Jim Gaffigan and Mitch Hedberg, and there's so many good ones, and most of them I know at least a little bit, at least in passing, and even some of the giants I've met and hung out with briefly. It's been a pleasure. That's one of the great things about my weird little career path.
When we had Allie Bream on, she mentioned that there'll be times when just the big names will just show up out of nowhere and perform with you.
Yeah, that's kind of the beauty of New York. I mean, that's why you come here. I was at Stand Up New York, which is my walkable club. It's only about 12 blocks away from here. They have a holding bar, like a little bar out front that's separate from the comedy room. And for whatever reason, on that particular night, the bartender was gone and there was nobody in the holding bar. It was like a Thursday night, like 9:30 or something. And I was hanging around the holding bar, kind of going over my set. And there was only like 15 people in the audience. And Jerry Seinfeld walks in. It was just the 2 of us in the bar. And I go, "Hi, Jerry. Are you going to tell some jokes for us tonight?" He said, "I think I am." We chatted for a few beats. I told him that when I was in college, the first time I was ever on stage was the Certs Doritos comedy competition in college. And the prize, if you did really well, was to eventually be judged by you. There was a picture of your face on the poster at the University of Georgia. And so we talked about that a little bit. He goes, "Yeah, I remember that." And I gave him some space to think about what he was doing. He went on and he was basically working on jokes about movies that he was going to do at the Oscars. And so it was pretty cool. And when they introduced him, the host said, this is what's magical about New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Seinfeld." Not one person clapped because nobody thought it was true. And then, you see Jerry turn the corner and walk up on the stage, and the place went frickin' bananas. Every single person in there was, standing and cheering. Their arms were up in the air. It was really, quite a scene to behold. And then I went on, half an hour after Jerry was done, and I opened with some version of, when I first started in comedy, my goal was to get a standing ovation when I was introduced someday because everyone loved me before I even start. But now what I want is when I'm introduced that nobody claps at all because no one believes that I would be working a dump like this. And it got this huge laugh because it was what we had just witnessed. It was this crazy scene,
That is. I mean, wow. I mean, you don't, with basketball, you don't all of a sudden, or with football, all of a sudden have an NFL player just show up in your backyard to play flag football.
Right. It's true. There aren't many worlds like that where kind of the giants come to... I played in the World Series of Poker one time, and that was another place where you see the giants of that little industry, It was like all those names that I knew from TV and the books I'd read and the guys that I was, fans of. They were all there playing. It was kind of cool to mix with them,
What's your thoughts on your alma mater being in the bowl series?
Oh, I'm excited, man. Now, they've got 2 ridiculously tough games, and they have a true freshman quarterback, so I have a lot of trepidation. But hey, they've got a good defense. They've got some amazing running backs, and if that freshman can keep his head about him, they got a shot. They win 2 tough games, and there's a parade at the end of it. I'm rooting for them, man. It's fun. I'm just glad to have them in the conversation on a big national level again. It's fun.
Exactly. It's always better to be in that thing than not at all. Tell us about your podcast, Quick Snaps.
Oh yeah, it's once a week during the season, football season. It's Monday nights. We usually do 30, 40, 50 minutes. Try to keep it kind of tight. It's a lot of football jokes and kind of the week that was in the NFL and some guy talk. My podcast partner Aaron Hodges is a Giants fan. I'm a Falcons fan, and we bust each other's balls about our teams and what they're doing, and it's fun. It's kind of home base for Quick Snaps. Quick Snaps has a lot of different forms now. I'm doing videos on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm calling radio stations, doing football jokes everywhere. I'll write memes sometimes, and it's had a few different written forms, places it's been published, but it's nice to have a podcast where I can come back and definitely do all the jokes and even the ones that aren't radio friendly for whatever reason, So that's what's fun about having the podcast. Sort of, it's my own beast that no one else controls. It's nice.
I agree with you 100%. That's why this is such a great medium and such a great format that you get to do what you want, and the fans get to hear your real thoughts as opposed to, watered down versions of them.
Right. Yeah, it's, most of the jokes are written to be radio friendly, but there's some things that are anti-corporate or a little too edgy politically or not PC for whatever reason. Occasionally be some dirty joke, it's fun to kind of have a place that all that goes,
With the Atlanta Falcons at 8-5, do you think they're going to make the playoffs?
I think so, but there's a lot of things that could go wrong. They have 3 games left, and it's all of their division rivals. It's Bucks this Monday, then I forget the chronology, but then they have to play Saints and Panthers. So, if they win out, they win the division and they're in great shape. If they win 2, they probably get to the playoffs at 10-6 because they have tiebreakers against people. And of course, if they win 1 or none of those 3, then they're probably out because the Seahawks are nipping at their heels, and it's not inconceivable that somebody like the Packers or the Cowboys or somebody else could have a run too. So we'll see. It could go any way right now. They could be atop the division or lose and be out of the whole thing. So, but I think they're a better team than they've showed this year. I think their underbelly is getting better. Their defense is better, but man, it's hard to be a Falcons fan.
Yeah, that is a tough thing with the NFC South. I mean, the whole division, like you said,
they're all good.
They're all good. Great. It's a game, a difference between each other.
And the Super Bowl will not go away. A friend of mine called me like a month ago, and he goes, "Hey, man, how was your summer on a scale of 28 to 3?" I'm like, you're such a bastard. I hate you.
Oh, that's tough.
Here's the darkest joke I wrote Super Bowl night. At least when you're a Falcons fan and you slit your wrist, you get to die in your own team colors. So that's good.
Well, at least your division doesn't have the Browns. I was going to say, I'm in Bengals country out here, so we got a lot of...
Yeah, the Bengals and the Browns. Brutal. The poor Browns, man. They're 0-13. Oh, I hope nothing unlucky happens to them. I love this story with the 0-16 parade thing. Are you following this?
No, I haven't heard about it.
This is great. Okay, the guy did it last year, too. He raised the money. He wants to have a parade for an 0-16 Browns season, if it happens. So he's already applied, got the permits. And when you have a parade, you have to give the city $10,000 for the security and the cops, whatever they have to do to prep for a parade. So he had a GoFundMe. He had $2,200 in the thing. And then Excedrin, this is not a joke, Excedrin ponied up the rest of the $10,000.
Oh my. Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds like a total, wow. Yeah.
That's genius genius marketing for less than $8,000. It's a hilarious joke, and it's like I'm talking about on the radio all morning today, and like it's all over the news. I love that somebody had that idea, and then I can imagine like all these suits at a meeting, like, yeah, we're going to actually do this. And if they win a game, there's no parade, and all the money goes to charity. So it's kind of a win-win, funny thing that they're doing. All the way around. It's kind of funny.
Exactly. Yeah, that's awesome that they would give the money to charity if it doesn't work out.
Right. And if they make a bunch of money that's above the $10,000, all that goes to charity too. So the guy that's doing it was kind of thoughtful in building it the right way. So good for him. For him, it's kind of a swipe at ownership, and it's a playful. He's been like a season ticket holder for like 30 years. So for him, it's like a playful way to say, I'm still committed. I still love the Browns. We're just frustrated. That's kind of his angle on it, which is kind of, I totally hear him. I mean, to be a Browns fan right now is brutal.
Yeah, because the crazy part is, as Bengals fans, we're hoping that they fire their coach because we want to hire him, the guy who's won one game in the last 2 years.
That's the guy you're looking up to, yeah.
Yeah, that's our goal.
If everything goes well, that's what. So how did you become a Bengals fan? Has that been always?
Yeah, I live over here in northern Kentucky, and the Bengals are so close, and so are the Reds, that you automatically become fans of them.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I like that part of the country.
That and, growing up, rooting for my local prison team, it's hard not to.
Yeah. I used to do a joke about the Bengals. They have more ankle bracelets than Super Bowl rings.
Very true. Yeah, I was going to say we had those two that we were close, but the Niners, they're always out there.
Right. That's right. And I remember that one when I was a kid. And Andy Dalton has, the same number of playoff victories as this telephone. It's kind of set a tough run, that kid. I'm rooting for him too. He's another one of those kind of.
Oh yeah, he is a really great fella. Like, he helps out with special needs people in the community. Vontaze Perfect. No. But no, he does help out in the community.
Joke at first.
Yeah, I was about to say Pac-Man as well, because same thing. He just, oh my gosh, those guys do the dumbest things sometimes.
The Bengals have had so many characters on their team, man. What was it, Chris Henry? Ocho Cinco.
Yeah.
Man, they've had so many weird characters over the years. Yeah, I like Andy Dalton. I mean, he looks the part, right? That orange hair fits perfectly in that uniform.
Oh, it does, yeah. And he's a solid quarterback. He's nothing world beater. So they're always trying to get rid of him and put on A.J. McCarron,
right?
The Alabama quarterback who hasn't played in other than preseason in the last 3-4 years. So yeah, let's put a guy who's not playing in there because he's got to be good.
I know it's just cliche, but it's true. There's no one more popular in the world than the backup quarterback when your team's struggling. It's like people are just antsy for something different.
What's your thoughts on the Raiders moving to Vegas?
No, I love it. I think it's great. There should be a team in Vegas. I mean, is that the perfect away game for any team fan? Like if there's a Falcons at Vegas game, I will be there. That is, how fun is that? Play poker, drag my brother out there, run around, be in Vegas. Be awesome.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, that's genius marketing. Actually, that's what they need to do is they need to partner with some type of company out there, each team, when they get the schedule and say, hey, we're going to throw a party at the Excalibur or the Luxor, that kind of thing. Of course, probably both of them I named have already been knocked down and put something new up.
Right. Of course, the way the Raiders are playing this year, they're only going to get about 200 yards a game. It's going to take a long time to get to Vegas from where they are now. That team is not good right now. It's a shame. That team and the Raiders and the Giants, I think, are the two biggest disappointments this season in terms of like preseason hopes, right?
Very true. Yeah, I mean, the Giants were supposed to have such a good defense, and their offensive line just fell apart, and everybody came in and took advantage of Eli Manning.
Right.
So tell us, I'm buying Christmas presents this year. Well, I buy them every year, but I'm trying to, this is around the time we're looking to buy Christmas presents. What ideals do you have for books, music, and CDs?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. Well, I have a new CD out. There's a cheap plug. It's called Live at Acme, and it's anywhere you'd buy CDs. That's available at my website, Costaki.com. Yeah, I mean, I love comedy albums. Personally, you can't go wrong with any of the greats. Brian Regan has a new Netflix special out. It's awesome. Well, that's a great question. I'm not super into music lately in the way that I was when I was younger, so I'm kind of out of the loop on music.
Oh, it was just a softball to cheap plug your stuff.
Oh, well, then I nailed it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've been listening to some books on tape. I'm a big fan of Malcolm Gladwell. If you haven't run into that dude, look him up. He's a crazy genius.
I can check that out.
He's the one that wrote Blink and The Tipping Point and all the. He's almost like a thoughtful sociologist about the world and how things work. A crazy genius.
So,
that's who I would say, author-wise.
So before you go, give us some tour dates and websites, social media to follow you at.
Yeah, home base for everything is Costaki.com. It's Costaki.com. And that has links to the podcast, Quick Snaps. It has links to free clips of mine online. It has albums you can buy. It has my schedule. I'm always out there knocking around the Midwest telling jokes. And yeah, the gigs coming up, I'm doing the Atlanta Punchline. I'm happy to announce the week between Christmas and New Year's. And then I'm headed to Minneapolis to do Acme, one of the great clubs in the history of comedy, in mid-January. And I'm hoping to head back there for the Super Bowl to do some media week stuff and run around and do quick snaps to radio stations all over the place. So I'm still putting that together, but we'll see.
Nice. Well, we wish you the best of luck for the holidays, and we thank you for coming on the show today.
You're a good man. Thanks so much for having me on, man.
Welcome. It was our pleasure. Costaki Economopoulos, and definitely check him out on his website, social media, and his new album. What was the name of the album again?
Live at Acme.
Thank you, sir.